We're here today with Matthew Pickard, Vice President of Environment and Sustainability from Sabina Gold and Silver, and we're going to be talking about Sabina's ESG practices in Northern Canada. Matthew, how are you doing today?
Good, and yourself, Andrew?
Yeah, doing well, thanks. Thanks for making the time to be here. To start us off, could you walk us through the engagement process Sabina has implemented with the seasonal communities in Nunavut, and give us an idea of how many meetings it's taken to build that rapport with them?
So Sabina started really active engagement back in 2012, about 8 years ago. Since that time, we've done about 250 meetings within the Kitikmeot region. So that includes all of the 5 permanent communities as well as the seasonal communities. Generally, those meetings are done either public open houses where we're in the communities. We have set times in the evenings and we go through a presentation and answer questions. Other ones are done with specific groups, elders, hunters and trappers organizations, youth. They can all be handled separately. Sometimes their concerns or their points that they want to discuss are different. So sometimes those smaller forums help us collect more information or more detailed information on certain areas.
So Sabina has been working Nunavut for a long time now. What are some of the special projects you guys have done for the communities up there? And how do you determine how you're going to allocate those funds?
Yeah, so Sabina's had a donations policy again for about 8 years. We focus that donations policy on various things, youth being one of them, education, traditional activities, and then special groups like elders and some of the community groups that are also up there. So we've done all different sorts of things, anything from supporting food banks and daycares through to more creative things like supporting the Kugluktuk Grizzly girls soccer team, which we did late last year to get to a tournament. Generally, we look at every request. We do get a lot of them. We look at every request. We pitch in what we can. Sometimes that's money. Sometimes that's other ways of helping. But there are a lot of different ways that we've fed into community initiatives. And it's been pretty effective overall.
Can you talk a little bit about the Bernard Harbor project where you've done a lot of work for the fisheries up there?
Yeah, so Bernard Harbor is located north of the community of Kugluktuk. Bernard Harbor is a traditional fishery, so it was used by Inuit even up to hundreds of years ago. The first recorded use of it by Southerners was actually done in the early 1900s. Bernard Harbor is a char fishery where char moved from an inland lake out to the ocean. And so as a result, it was easy to catch large char there in great numbers and keep people fed. Over the years, it looks like various causes, maybe global warming, maybe isostatic rebound, have caused the water levels to lower. So we formed a partnership with the Kugluktuk HTO, and in line with our agreements and work we do with Department of Fisheries and Oceans, to basically look at that whole system and processes where we all work together. And we've actually years ago corrected the issues where we actually used numerous Inuit youth and members of the HTO to move rocks to make paths for the fish. And now we're monitoring the effects of that with the HTO. So it's a fairly revolutionary idea where you have a company, you have government with the federal government, and then the Inuit out of Kugluktuk all working together for a common goal.
One of the communities that is closest to the Back River Gold Project is Bathurst Inlet. Can you talk about your relationship with that seasonal community and how you're improving their livelihoods?
So Bathurst Inlet is located about 30 kilometers from our port facility on Bathurst Inlet. It's a seasonal community, so there's not people there all the time, and it tends to be used by a few families. But even with that low amount of use, it doesn't make a difference to us. We're still doing what we can to help them. Specifically, a lot of the families there want to be there a lot or even more. And so we've tried to just help where we can to let them be on the land, let them stay in what they most commonly call their home. And we've grown quite a relationship with them. They come to our camp frequently. They actually do checks for us in the winter, and they snowmobile down, make sure that everything's fine, that we don't have grizzly bears in the camp or anything else. And they help that way. So, we've helped bring people into camp on some of our scheduled flights. We've also just helped bring food in. We have extra payload sometimes. It's really not a difficult thing for us to put that on the plane, bring it in. They come down and get it. They join us for lunch. and they get the supplies that they so desperately need. It's only about a 20 or 30-minute ride down to our laydown area. It's a minimum of 14 hours back to Cambridge Bay on a snowmobile, so it's a lot easier to visit.
Matt, that was a good overview on Sabina's ESG practices. I know you guys did an ESG report that was published not too long ago. What was some of the other topics and things you guys had researched that were in that report?
Yeah, so Sabina did release its inaugural ESG report. This is our first stab at it, so it's not a heavy data report, but it's got a lot of the stories that make Sabina what it is, right, in our relationships with people in the north. You know, some of the points in that, we cover different topics, and it is available on our website. But there's a lot of information there about just how we do protect, you know, the environment, how we work together with, you know, Inuit of the Kitikmeot region, with the Kitikmeot Inuit Association and others. Specifically, there's information on the Bernard Harbour project. There's information on caribou and other measures that we put in place. And it's meant to tell a story. The first one's meant to give everyone a background as to how we do things. And from there, we'll be launching these every year or two to give, you know, additional information to all the parties that want it.
Just so if viewers were interested in viewing it, what's the website so that they can find the report at?
So the detailed ESG report is at the Sabina website, which is www.sabinagoldsilver.com.
Matthew, great speaking with you today, and it's great to see a mining company care so much about the environment and its surrounding communities. I'm looking forward to discussing more of Sabina's ESG initiatives with you.
Great, thanks Andrew. Have a good day.
Thanks, you too.